Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. What was I gonna say? Off to a great start, for this episode. I know that we were dealing with that worker issue last episode, and it looks like it's still... The game froze on me, I freaked out for a second. It looks like the problem is still here to some extent, but it is not nearly as prevalent as it once was, and I can hear it pouring outside, so I'm a little concerned if if the power goes out, my PC will be running on battery power, and I'm not too keen on that because I lose performance ability at that point, or performance power rather. We got some sick people in the city as well. Let me take a look at this. We've got a clinic right here, and it covers essentially the entirety of the city. It's just that we have more sick citizens than we know what to do with. Really, I could just build like a clinic right over here, because this is an area that isn't exactly serviced. I want to make sure that I do that. Hopefully that will take care of things. It should. Death care, not an issue. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is taken care of so that, I'm not leaving things unattended to, Alright. At this point, we're going to have to keep expanding, because the demand is there, and we can't ignore that. Sure. And then we do this. There we go. I love grids because they are not unique, and they let me pack as many people in here as I want. Alright, we do that, of course extend the district as well, yada yada. This is going to eventually be its own district, because it's all suburban. But for now, it is going to be relatively, it's just going to stay a part of this district. Because, our city, in terms of the amount of space we're taking up, is not big at all, There are a lot of people packed into this space that we have allocated. So, I'm not really concerned about making new districts yet when we haven't taken up that much space to begin with. Yeah, and these commercial buildings are just upgrading immediately, because apparently the land value is still good out here. And then they're going to start bitching and moaning about not having educated workers like everybody else over here. I'm going to tell them, just wait. People are getting educated. It is taking time. This number has gone up significantly, as has this number, as has this number. So, just be patient, okay? That's all you got to do. There's no need to rush things. And we have plenty of people in the city here that could be used for work. You don't have to have educated workers necessarily. Just train them. Forehead. Alright. I'm going to expand out a little bit this way to kind of even things out a little bit more in that regard. I'm going to pause too to make sure that I'm keeping up with things. There you go. And then here we go. Like this, like that. And there we go. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. These grids, baby. They are doing wonders for us. Even though they are in no way unique or even aesthetically pleasing. But that's not really what I'm going for, you know? I mean, like, I've said it many times, there are only certain things that I care about in terms of aesthetics, and, you know, when I put my mind to something like that, then I will dedicate time to making sure it looks good. But I don't see a point in doing that here, so I'm not going to. Just seems relatively pointless when ultimately our goal is to expand, not to I don't know, you know, make it look pretty, you know. And I mean, it doesn't even look bad. You know, we just have a lot of grid systems in place because that's the most efficient way to expand, you know. But I digress. Get some more people to move in here. I mean, this modern community college can hold a lot of people. So the more people we move in, the more people that are likely to get educated, which is good. I mean, I think this game kind of has an inherent flaw in that the people that you start out with are just simply uneducated, which, you know, in the real world, a decent chunk of them would at least have a college education, you know, right off the bat. You know, that's just how it is. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just like a... It's probably like a minor nitpick, but it does bother me that, like, you know, you start out with everything and, you know, everybody is just extremely uneducated. You know, they don't even have an elementary school education. And it's just like, you know, I mean, that's not realistic at the end of the day. But I am probably being very nitpicky about it. But, I mean, when a game like this comes out and it doesn't have a whole lot of flaws, you got to find things to pick apart a little bit. You know, it's almost human nature, I would say. Like, it's too good. It needs to be overly critiqued, you know. But anyway. Yeah, traffic on this particular highway ramp is pretty bad. There's nothing we can really do about that, though. I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with people moving in. You know, especially, like, down here and whatnot. So there isn't really anything we can do at the moment for that, you know. Eventually, traffic is just going to get bad. You know, like, period. And when that time comes, we can deal with it, but, you know, as of right now, it's not really anything that we can or should do anything about. Something I also want to do is I want to connect this road to one of these roads over here, and we're going to do a neat little curve thing right here, right? We're going to do something like this, and then there you go. That actually works, and it looks really nice too. You know, and I'm gonna check and make sure that we're not gonna invade on the space here, and we aren't. We're good. But I just wanted to connect this space here. And I mean, this can fall under Beach Heights. Like, it's still a national park, but, you know, I think this can fall under Beach Heights. There we go. And we can kind of figure out how we want to expand here. Because there is quite a bit that we can do. And again, this gives us a lot of room to work with. So I'm just kind of just going to, like, tinker around. See how I want to do things. I mean, maybe that's getting a little close to the park, but hey, you know what? It's a giant boulder, okay? I mean, it's not even a boulder. It's just like a hill with a rock in it, okay? You can take it easy, all right? I mean, like, if you really care that much about it, I don't know what to tell you. Really? Okay. Well, I mean, I'm trying to line this up so it's not, so that we're, you know, we're still being relatively efficient, but I guess it isn't, you know, possible. Like, why do you have to come at such a, you know what? I mean, that's fine. It's probably as efficient as we can get with that. And I mean, like, I think I'm gonna pad this out with trees out here, because I think the way we have it is fine, but I do want to kind of gate this off with trees and whatnot, so that it's not completely invaded upon and out of place. But we'll do that later. Not gonna worry too much about it right now. Okay, there we go. So you all have water, and we can kind of expand a little bit more. Trying to gauge the demand here, and it's a little difficult because, you know, it's all right around the same, so you kind of just got to mix in everything at this point. But not a terrible situation at all. I mean, we're making bank. You know, our city is functional for the most part. We got a national park. You know, how many cities can say they have a national park right in the heart of the city? Not too many. Not too many. That I can tell you. And so we're kind of just going to spend this time building around it here. Like, you know, building upon this road and then figuring out how we want to expand going forward. Because, I mean, really the purpose of this road is to connect these two separate areas. But, you know, obviously we're going to build upon it and, like, do things with it. So we'll see. Taking it slow though. We don't have to move real quickly either, you know. I don't want to fret about that all that much. But I mean, it looks nice. Dude, I would live here, maybe. We don't have any parks other than the national park, but, you know, I mean, it's a functional city. Don't have the best designs in place, but it is functional. And that's all we could really ask for at the end of the day, I think. Yeah, can keep zoning more commercial. Because why not? This also means we're probably going to have to expand upon our city services soon, because these areas are likely not going to be covered. Yeah. But not a big deal, you know. I mean, they are covered for the most part. Well, not fire, but we can fix that, no problem. And then police, yeah, okay, all right. So we'll worry about that later. Again, not something that we really need to fret too much about for the time being. They will get by. I promise they will. Eventually we're going to have to make the transition to these bigger and taller residential buildings. It is a little odd to kind of mix in these suburban homes with businesses, but at the same time, it does feel right. You know, because I've grown up in the suburbs most of my life. You know, I've lived in the suburbs, I should say, most of my life. I spent the last 9 months living in downtown Boston, which I hated, but that's a separate story. You know, but in the suburbs that I've lived in, there are houses and businesses that are mixed in together sometimes. And then, you know, sometimes there are commercial places and then residential places, and they're kind of segregated in that way. So, you know, it's either or. You know, you can do it either way. I like kind of mixing it in from time to time. Don't always have to do that. I don't want to always do that. But it does have its perks. That is absolutely the case, and I want to take advantage of it because, you know, when you mix it in like this, you know, it's not about always, you know, it's not always about like trying to make it really look good, because I mean, I guess that's why you would segregate residential and commercial. It's to kind of make it look good, but again, theme of the episode, I'm not really going for that. This kind of allows us to tackle the demand head on. You know, like, hey, if we need residential right now, we can just plop it in here, and then all of a sudden we need commercial, can plop in commercial, you know, so on and so forth. It's not exactly something that we kind of have to think about ahead of time, which I enjoy. And we're going to zone this entirely as commercial because the demand for commercial continues to persist. Even though some of them are complaining about not having educated workers, but frankly, I don't see that as my problem. Anyway, you know, but the demand is constantly there, so we're trying to kind of build around that. And nobody is really complaining about like a lack of resources or a lack of workers, except for the people complaining about not having educated workers, but we're working on that. Nobody's really complaining about like an imbalance in the supply chain, which is good. You know, we're kind of just following the demand and then going from there, which is ideal, you know. We're going to zone commercial here too, because I don't really think we're going to expand like anywhere over here. I don't really see how that would work actually, but do need more space for residential, although it is not all that prominent. We actually need more space for industry. We've kind of maxed out the space that we have here. So we're probably going to have to end up expanding out this way. And I can afford to do it, and I will do it. And that'll kind of allow us to capitalize more on our industry and build more of it. And the nice thing is that the rivers kind of, intersect here and branch off here. So it's not like this, you know, like it's all land here and we just have to fill it with industry. Okay, now death care is becoming an issue. All of a sudden, what the hell is going on? Okay, now there are just, you know, all of these deceased people all of a sudden. Okay, you know, I guess if that's how we're doing things, you know, how about healthcare? Are we, yeah, we're over capacity again. At this point, just build a giant frickin' hospital. Because these people need taking care of. I thought I had built a big hospital before, but I guess not. Huh. Could also kind of make this a a city services plaza, if you will, and kind of take care of all of these while we're at it. This will definitely add up on our weekly, or weekly income. But dude, I mean, like, you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. You know, I'm trying to provide all these services for people, and if this is what it takes, well, then that's what it takes. I mean, like, I don't understand why. I mean, the traffic isn't bad anywhere. Like, not even around here that much. You know, it does get bad periodically, but it's not like it's terrible. You know, and I mean, death care, I guess. I mean, we have 3. Oh, no, wait. I mean, I guess death care over here isn't all that great, but, like, this isn't bad at all in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'll put another one there, but, you know, I mean, how many people are dying in our city? Jesus. You know, I think we should be more concerned about that than, like, anything else, but whatever, you know, I mean, I'm just going to keep worrying about expanding the industry side of things anyway. Actually, industry demand went down, so we won't mess with that. I think the nice thing, what I was trying to get at earlier before I was dealing with that whole issue, was that having these rivers here kind of allows us to kind of decide what kind of zones we want in which place. You know, this plot wasn't all land, you know, so it's not like we have to make a random transition from industry to something else. The nice thing is that we can decide, hey, you know, I want residential and commercial up here. Maybe I want to save this area over here for industry, and we don't have to worry about, like, you know, people complaining about pollution and all of that. We can kind of designate different places for it because these rivers are here. And it allows for cargo transportation as well. You know, we can take advantage of it while it's here, which is also pretty frickin' neat. So it is definitely something that we are going to consider for the future. We're not going to try and tackle anything this episode, I think, with it. I think that's something for the future, and we don't even have the demand for expansion right now anyway. And more people are complaining about not having educated workers. Wow, what a surprise. You know, I guess we'll throw in another elementary school. There you go. People can start going there too, I guess. What about high schools and whatnot? We're near capacity there. Not exactly there, and then university, of course, is fine. Most people have graduated elementary school, which is good. We're getting there with everything else, but it's a slow process, and in the meantime, we're going to have buildings that continue to go abandoned and businesses that continue to complain. But at the end of the day, you know, or rather, soon enough, this won't be a problem anymore. It's just a matter of waiting at this point. And making sure that, like, every part of our city where there are people living, that they have access to every level of education, you know, so that nobody is left uneducated at the end of the day. It's a beautiful thing being mayor, you know. You have the opportunity to inspire people, to educate them by giving them schools. You know, you have so much control. You know, if I really wanted to, I could decide, hey, I fucking hate all of you. You know, you're not gonna get jack shit from me. But no, I think I'm a pretty kind mayor in that regard. The education boost might be a problem. I mean, maybe we disable that. No, I don't really think that's worth it. Prefer parks, what does that mean? Tourists in the area choose to visit parks more often than unique buildings. I mean, that doesn't really... I'm sure I'll take a park maintenance boost. Why not? For-profit education. All education facilities become for-profit and students are required to pay tuition fees to attend school. Reduces the happiness. Ooh, book fair. What do we got here? The local public libraries organize a book fair. I mean, I don't have any public libraries anywhere, which might be an issue, but I mean, like, what do you want me to do, you know? God damn it. Well, see, this is your fucking fault for building your fancy boutiques and whatnot. Hey, what did you expect? Okay, there aren't a whole lot of high wealth people that live here. Yet. You know, you gotta give it time. It just takes some time, a little bit of meh, 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 meh. I have no idea how that song goes, but anyway, I think this is a good stopping point for us. We still got some issues we need to work out, but you know, we're going to be able to expand in the near future, and eventually we're going to hopefully reach a point where everybody is educated and we don't have these problems anymore. But we'll see what happens. So, anyway, all of that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of City Skylines, let me know down in the comment section below. Like the video and share it with your friends. Let me know you want to see more of any game series I do here on the channel. The link down to the game is in the description box below if you want to pick it up for yourself. Subscribe to my channel for more gaming content. I play all sorts of games on my channel. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I will talk to you later.